In this video, I'm going to tell you about the process I went through to buy my very first pair of designer shoes. I bought the Christian Louboutin Kate 85mm pump. Took them for a spin, so they're a little bit scuffed. I'm going to share with you where I got them, what I looked for, what kinds of things I noticed, what things I found suspicious, how I figured out fit. Last thing you want to do is drop a bunch of money on something that's non-returnable online only for it to arrive and for you to find out it doesn't fit you. Terrible, garbage situation to be in. So that's that. That's the plan. Let's talk about designer things for a minute. I'm a big thrifter. I've been purchasing clothing secondhand since I was in grade school, and it started because it was a cost-efficient way to clothe ourselves. And I still think it is. Now I've continued to do that as I've become an adult because it's a sustainable way of shopping, and I care about that sort of thing. And, you know, we can't do everything all the time, but we can do some things some of the time. So purchasing clothing items secondhand is one of the ways that I am able to sleep at night. When it comes to designer things, I don't have any. I definitely went through a few phases of style as I was trying to figure my, look out. Having invested in something sooner in this journey would have been wasteful for me. I am getting older now, and I've found there are certain things that I just want to have in my wardrobe that I don't want to have to purchase again. Just a note on the return on investment when it comes to thrifting. Unfortunately, this requires an investment of time. I saved in terms of dollars, but I spent a lot of time doing research, looking through dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of Christian Louboutins used online and combing through the details and the posts and making sure that everything was legit and that the size was accurate and that the pictures were accurate and the description was accurate. That might not be worth it for you. Purchasing things secondhand is a lot like fishing or treasure hunting, and it's a process. If that's not something you enjoy or it's not something you have time for, it might not be the best option for you. I was invited to a party. I was wearing these shoes that I actually purchased them secondhand. They were made from some, brand that's not known for its longevity in terms of quality, and they started falling apart literally at the party. Hanging on by a thread. I felt like Cinderella. At midnight, my feet were going to turn into, I don't know, but I definitely wasn't going to have any shoes on my feet. I enjoyed myself. Luckily, footwear was not required inside the house. This was a gathering in someone's home, and I took an Uber, and I went home. And I told myself, I need a pair of decent shoes. I don't need 20 of them. I don't need them in every color. I just need one pair of great shoes that make me feel good, that make me feel sexy, that are appropriate for a variety of settings, and just have them for years to come. There are plenty of places in my city to buy secondhand things. Luckily for you, regardless of where you live, this process that I'm going to share with you today occurred on the online secondhand market, and that can be a really tricky place. I bought the Kate pumps off of Poshmark. If you've never used Poshmark, it's a online used store. It's not a used store. The goods are used goods. Some of them are new, and some of them have only been worn once. It really depends. You gotta look. Louboutin makes similar versions of this pump. One is called the Kate, the other one is called the So Kate. The So Kate is ridiculously high. I think it's almost a 5-inch heel. It's 120 millimeters. Nearly impossible to walk in. And the Kate comes in a variety of heel heights. But a few of the things I noticed about buying the shoes. The bottom of the red sole of each Louboutin shoe is engraved with the Christian Louboutin logo, says made in Italy, and then it has the size. If it doesn't have that, that might be a symptom of inauthenticity. I saved everything I liked, and then later I would revisit my likes and examine them a little more closely. So there were a couple I found did not have the engraving on the bottom of the sole. And so, I asked about that. The other thing too is that you want to give your sellers the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's just wasn't a good picture and you can't see it. It's close up and it's not there. The point is, ask questions. Another suspicious thing I saw was there was a shoe that was advertised as being 85 millimeters, which is the height that I was looking for. But in the pictures, the heel looked very high. And they said that they were posting both because they were trying to show I don't remember. There was some reason for some previous potential buyer that they had posted an additional photo of a different shoe, but I didn't like that. Don't show me pictures of things I'm not buying. Look very carefully at the description of the item that you're purchasing. Ensure that every detail in the photo matches the description. I saw in descriptions where it said that the shoe was one size, but then I looked in the photos and it was a different size. Someone would say it's an 8, but the shoe was a 9, but they wrote it was an 8 because it fits like an 8 in European size. What size is the shoe? Let me decide what it fits like. Make sure that the photos and everything match the description. Just check it out. Be really careful about that. And the thing is that some of the things I found that were so subtle. These things can easily be missed. If you're too excited, you'll miss it. You get something completely different in the mail. It shouldn't be an impulsive experience. Take your time. Not only can you not return used items, but you definitely can't try them on. We're going to talk about that too. If you're going to buy something online, particularly something that's expensive that you can't return, do your darndest, if at all possible, to try it on physically first. I knew that I wanted this particular style pump because I did some research and this is the pump I tried on. There are a lot of different pumps and I wasn't sure that all of them were going to fit the same. Some of them have a very narrow toe box. Some of them have a toe box that's a little bit wider. Some of them show a little bit of toe cleavage. Toe cleavage is when you can see your toes. It's toe cleavage. You know what it is. And some of them you could see the toe cleavage a lot. Even the shape of the toe makes a difference in the fit of the heel. So I needed to try them on. So I went to the Bergdorf Goodman on 5th Avenue and I went to the shoe section and I saw the Louboutins in patent leather at 85 millimeters. And I said, let me try those in a 7.5, please. And thank you. They were the Kate. It was the same exact heel height, 85 millimeters. The only difference was that the ones I tried on were in patent leather. In any case, I walked around the store with the shoes on and I walked on tile. I walked on the rug and that's about all I could do. They wouldn't let me take them for a spin outside. You know what I mean? When I first tried on the 7.5, I found they were too small for me. So my toes were really crunched all the way in the front. So I asked for an 8, but the 8 was too big because the design of this heel, like the back of the shoe, the intent is to cup your heel. So if the shoe is not exactly the right size, it'll regularly slide out of your foot. So it's a really good thing I tried them on because had I gotten them in a 7.5, I would have wondered if an 8 would have fit me. Had I gotten an 8, it would have been too big. You get the idea. The particular design of these shoes is just that your toes are crunched. I wore these twice this week to 2 events. What the heck did I do the other day? Oh yeah, I went on a date. That was my first time traversing the city in these. And let me tell you, cruising the streets of Manhattan in heels, it ain't easy. I was pushing through some pretty heavy pedestrian traffic in Midtown Manhattan in these. And let me tell you, we did all right. In my opinion, that makes them worth the investment. I have walked like 4 miles in these shoes. More than that. 20-minute walk to the train, 20-minute walk back, walked all over the city, walked around the theater. Boom. It was great. And then the very next day, I wore them again. Went to a friend's house nearby, and the buses were not running. So I walked home, and that was about a 25-minute walk. I mean... Yeah, I guess the final thing that varied a lot among all of the options was obviously the amount of wear on the shoe itself. Clearly, you know, the trademarked red sole is one of the things that makes a Louboutin shoe so valuable. That was important to me to get the overall condition of the shoe to be as good as possible. I was floored when I found these. I don't know what this lady's doing, if she's moving, if she went to an estate sale and she hit the jackpot. I don't know. But these were in nearly new condition when I got them. I mean, they looked almost like they hadn't been used at all, except for a little bit of evidence of a foot having been inside. But even the bottom was nearly unscathed. I paid $300 for my Christian Louboutin heels, and normally they retail for about $800, I believe, at the time of this recording, plus tax. Anyway, so that's my story. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, about how I bought designer heels on the used interweb. I hope that as you're shopping for something special, either for yourself or someone else, you just nail it. You get, I was going to say get the bag. You keep the bag, and you get the goods. And I don't know. We'll let's talk about it more again in the next video. See you later. Bye. Imagine acting like one of those stupid recipe blogs. Oh my goodness. You just need the facts. Ooh, got a little nicked, huh? Let's talk about the history of pesto. Nicked and scuffed. Don't tell me what my shoe's supposed to fit like, okay? Cinderella? Anybody want to invite me out for a good time? You know, let me know. I got I'm ready to get dressed for the occasion.